Hi, this is Jim Gibson with Business Sense Podcast. Thank you for watching today. Really appreciate it. And in this podcast, we talk about all things that concern business and management, how to start a business, how to run a business. Also, if you're not thinking of starting or running a business and you're not an entrepreneur, that's fine, because we're going to talk a little bit about how to get ahead as an employee in a business. And that's what this podcast is about. My background is 30 years running a IT company, a very successful and profitable IT company. And not only that, but also I still run cablesupply.com, which is an IT supply house. You can order things from there to fulfill your IT needs. Also invented a couple products out there that have been very successful. I've earned money in that way. I'm also a former Marine Corps captain. Learned how to manage people and lead people. There is a difference between the two, and we'll talk about that sometime in the future. And you need actually a little bit of both. People say, well, you shouldn't be a manager, you should be a leader. Well, you need to be a manager and you need to be a leader, but we'll talk about that in the future. Also have a master's in business administration. And so a lot of people, look at me and say, well, what does this person know and everything else. So I got a lot of experience in managing teams and managing people, of building organizations out of nothing, starting with no one and just designing it on paper and working it from there. So I hope this will be good information for you. If you're an entrepreneur and you want to start a business, I'm going to give you some ideas. I'm going to give you some thoughts. I'm going to talk about some things that affect you each day, and some ideas, how I solved a lot of problems. So that's pretty much the intro. Let's talk about today. Your viewpoint of money. I know that sounds really strange, viewpoint of money. Everybody wants more. That's one thing for sure. But I tell you what, not everybody wants more. Some people are happy with what they have. Some people feel like they're victims because they don't have enough. And it goes on and on. And money is a big subject thing. In fact, if you look in the Bible, it's probably one of the big topics in the Bible, especially Proverbs. Proverbs has a ton of really great ideas about money management, investing, things like that. But your viewpoint on money is even it's subconscious about money. If you think, well, I got to make more and I have to work more and I have to make more money, but at the same time you feel money is evil and bad and everything else, it's going to affect your decisions. It's going to affect, how you make decisions. It's going to affect what you do. So you have to have a clear thought in your mind exactly about not just finances, but money itself. Okay, and we're going to talk about finances in another podcast and how to invest, things like that. I'm not going to give you investment ideas and things like that, but principles that you should be thinking about when it's time to invest your profits. And profits is not a curse word, as a lot of people believe it is. They think it's a curse word and that's it. But your viewpoint of money, how you view money, will affect how successful you are in business and whether or not you're going to remain in business, to be honest with you. So, when I was growing up, my mom would always say to me, Jim, money is the root of all evil. If you look at all the evil in the world, it all starts with money. And I'm telling you, it's not. It's the love of money. That's what the Bible verse says. It's the love of money that is the root of all evil. And love in the Bible means to put something first. And Proverbs has a lot about that. It doesn't actually use the phrase love of money. But it does talk about, doing the right thing when you have finances and things like that. But, another thing I always hear is the pie view of money. The pie view of money is that there's only so much, and it's cut up a certain way. And when people come in and they take a portion of that pie, that they don't leave enough for the rest of us, and that's just not fair. And they always hear the word fair. This is fair. This is fair. Usually when I hear the word fair, it's usually someone who wants your money and at the same time may not want to put in the effort or the time that it takes to actually earn their own money. But money is not a pie. There's no such thing as this pie. I could make billions of dollars, and it does not subtract from your ability to make millions or billions also, because money value is created. And let me tell you how I view this, or how this is in real life in the free market. In the free market, you can come up with an idea, and if you come up with an idea that solves someone's problems, which hopefully if you want to be an entrepreneur, that's what you're looking at, solving someone's problems, being of service to someone. You see they're struggling and things like that. How can you make life better for that person? And that actually creates wealth. I think years ago, this is before my time, believe it or not, but the elevator, you used to have an elevator operator in the elevators, and you'd get on the elevator and he or she would close the gates, and then they would say, what floor do you need? And they would be a little handle that they would turn up or down, and it would cause the elevator to go up or down, and then it'd open the gates and they would say something nice to you and everything else. And then when those elevators started becoming popular, the new elevators started becoming popular. Just pushing the buttons, the things that you're familiar with. When they started becoming popular and everything else, there was a big outcry. They said, look at all the elevator operators that are no longer going to be employed. There's going to be massive unemployment in America because of that. And that's a pie view, that you had an elevator operator, you had thousands of them or whatever. Now you bring automation in, and automatically what happens is these people lose their jobs. And they kind of think that these people just go out and just bum around and not do anything, and they starve and they die and fall into the ocean or something. But in reality, what they do is they go on to a more productive job. So this automatic elevator takes people out of the elevator operators out. Now, this is many, many years ago, before I was born, believe it or not. But the idea is here that the people who were complaining about elevator operators losing their jobs, they had a viewpoint that money supply or opportunities is a pie. And if you take too big of a piece of a pie, well, then no one else has money left. So if you're a billionaire at everybody else's expense. No one else could possibly be there. And yet you look at all the billionaires today. You look at Microsoft and Amazon and the people who started that and run it today, they're all billionaires. But what are they providing to you? They're providing you a service. I mean, at any time you could stop buying Microsoft products. People lived for millennium without Apple and Microsoft products. So you can do it. You're the one that's paying the money for it, but when you buy the money and you buy the product, the software, it makes you more productive, and it makes your day easier. Washing machines made people's days easier. Elevators, automatic elevators freed people up from sitting there all day, running the elevator up and down for you. It's kind of strange. I went to Sacramento a couple years back, and I walked in the elevator and I went to push a button, and a lady said, "No, don't touch that button." And I said, "Why?" She goes, "That's what I'm here for. What floor do you want to go to?" And she went and pushed that button. And I thought, wow, that is really dumb. But that's a viewpoint of a lot of people that, that progress, that money, it's all pie, and if you take more of the pie, there's less for other people. And it's just simply not true. If you provide a product, or you provide an opportunity, or you provide things like that, a service to people, you make money. But something else you do? They have a benefit from that. They benefit from that. And they become more productive. So overall, the whole community is more productive. The whole culture is more productive because of these products. And yes, someone makes money at it. Why would you not want someone to make money out of it? I mean, why? Think this thing through. Well, they make too much. They're greedy. And we'll talk about greed in the next couple videos. I'm going to talk about that and how that's a different viewpoint. You'd be surprised what greed really is. Sometimes it's on the other shoe, on the other foot, the shoe on the other foot, something like that. But anyway, when you're thinking about money or making money or becoming wealthy, Just because you become wealthy doesn't mean that you've taken away something from someone else. I made nice money while I ran an IT company, but I also provided jobs for people, 15, 20, 25 people at one point. I provided them jobs. They paid mortgage on their houses. They bought vehicles. They put kids through school. They lived life. They went on vacation, things like that. Well, that was because my company created an opportunity for them. At the same time, I made money. And yes, I made more money than the average employee that worked for me. That's true. And it doesn't mean I'm greedy. It means I put out the risk. I risked my future to start this company. And this company became profitable. And because of that, and it's not everybody that puts out risk becomes profitable, but in this case, I became profitable, and I shared that profit in the fact that I gave other people opportunities in IT. So I shared with them that profitability. So it's a win-win situation. It's not that some people have all the money and others are just poor, and they're poor because the other people don't have money. They're not poor because other people have money. They're poor sometimes because they have not put out the effort to earn their own, to earn money themselves, or they have a really bad viewpoint of what money is, like we're talking about on this blog. So they actually think, well, if you have money, I can't, and all this other stuff, or they don't invest in themselves. A lot of people don't invest in themselves. They're just darn right lazy. Some people are lazy. I know it's unpopular to say, broadcast, but yeah, there's people who are lazy. And when I first started my business, I worked full-time at Burlington Air Express, and they were kind enough to make sure I was done by a certain time. And as soon as my time was up at Burlington that day, I went right into the men's room and I changed from my suit into my dungarees and into my t-shirt and work boots. And I went to work, and I worked, 8-10 hours, sometimes all through the night, and showed up the next morning in a suit ready to go. So I put in a lot of effort to start a business. And if you're going to start a business, you're going to have to put in that type of effort too. Well, most of the time, not every time. But most of the time, if you want to be successful in business, you got to put in the effort. And some people aren't willing to. So sometimes you're in life financially because that's where you decided to be. Now you may say, well, Jim, I didn't decide to be poor. Well, maybe you did because you didn't think it through. Maybe you did because you weren't willing to put the effort out. But if you're thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, it's going to take a lot of effort to get there, and it's going to take a right viewpoint of money. Money is not evil. It's the love of money that is evil. When you put money above people, when you put money above your character and who you are and integrity and things like that, then it becomes the root of all evil. So love, remember, love in the Bible means to put something first. So if you put money first above who you are, above your character, above everything else, then you will fail in business. You really will, because there's been times I did not make any money at all, but I still serviced my customers, still paid vendors on time. I still made payroll every single pay period. So that's some of the things. Let's see. I know when some people look at rich people, they say, well, they're the one percenters and they suck up all the money. And this has been the theme through the time. But why not take the time to learn how you could become the one percenter? You're in America. No one's holding you back. Pick up a book, study a subject, study business. I read at least one business book a month, at least one a month, if not more. I'm fascinated by other people. So when I hear about this person, I hear about Bill Gates, or some of the others that are billionaires, I don't sit there and say, oh, they're evil and they suck up all the money and everything else. No. What I do is I say, wow, how did they do it? Maybe I could learn how to do it also. This is an interesting concept here. I could learn to become a billionaire if I put out the effort in this, and I could end up, I don't know if I'd become a billionaire at this rate, but I could better my situation and take care of my family better. Maybe, a lot more hard work, a lot more studying, wisdom, planning, asking people, other people who are successful, how they were successful. But don't hate people because they have money. It just doesn't get you anywhere, man. And yet you have opportunities also. So stop being the victim. I always hear these people say, well, my parents weren't rich. Well, I don't care, and neither does anyone else care about your victimhood. They go, and then they move on in life. So if you want to get ahead, stop being a victim, man, and put some work into it. If you haven't finished high school, get a GED if you want to. I don't care. You don't have to have a GED. You don't have to have a college education to be successful in America. But you do have to have a product or a service that helps other people. And that's how you get ahead. So when you help other people, you save them time, you save them effort, you give them a product that they need, that helps their day go better, that helps them run a business, things like that. That's how you benefit in life. So stop being a victim. Stop hating people who are wealthy. Stop hating the one percenters. Just shut up and learn how they did it. Read a book. Read books. You got to read a lot of books, by the way. But I learned a lot, and every month I would say I learned something new in business. I learned something new in life. And that's how you do it. But you got to have a right viewpoint about money. It is a tool. It's, if you have a hammer, you can use a hammer to build a house. You can use a hammer to kill someone. So it's just a tool, and you treat it as a tool. You treat money as a tool. If you're thinking of becoming an entrepreneur, money is more like shows you how successful you are in meeting people's needs. If you're an honest businessman, if you're an honest entrepreneur, if you're an honest employer, it's just going to show you how successful you are in life. And don't hate people that have it, because it never gets you anywhere. I'm a victim, I don't have any money. Well, thank you for watching me in this podcast. I hope you watch the next one. And we're not done with money. We're going to be talking about greed next time. And you're going to be surprised what greed really is, because a lot of people running around saying, oh, this person's greedy, or that person's greedy over there, or this one over there. You're going to find out that most likely they're the ones that are greedy. So thank you for watching. See you next time.